Well, I have no idea where this is going to go today or why we're even doing it, but I do know that it's time to roll solo. Hey, how's everybody doing today? Um, Welcome to session 8 of campaign 2 of Rolling Solo, a actual play Daggerheart game. That is a solo game. I am the only player. I am the game master. Hi, I'm Paul. How's it going? Um, I want to start out before I get into the show itself. Let's read some Daggerheart disclaimers as required by law, or at least by the beta test agreement. And let you guys know that this product is adapted from or based on content created and owned by Darrington Press, Daggerheart Open Beta Materials, Darrington Press LLC, 2024, available at daggerheart.com. This video is based on the following public game content created and owned by Darrington Press, the Daggerheart Open Beta Materials. From Darrington Press LLC, 2024, available at daggerheart.com. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's start our show. And we'll start with what happened last week. So, last week we had, and I had a write-up, but I don't know where it is. So last week, what we had was a conversation between Kolbrá and Auriane on an island as they were waiting to eat the scorpions that they had killed in the previous episode. Kolbrá told Auriane about her upcoming arranged marriage. Auriane did not think that that was a particularly great idea or respected Kolbrá's personhood, which led Kolbrá to say some nasty things, which led Auriane to have a bit of a flashback. We learned that the reason that Auriane is we learned that the reason that Auriane is even in the Kingdom of Ashes and has left her native Cavaden is because she is kind of in exile. Her uncle she was guarding her mother's brother. This went poorly. They were ambushed. Her uncle was killed. Her other uncle sent her away into ashes. So we learned that's why Auriane is here. Why is Kolbrá here? Because Kolbrá is supposed to be the linchpin in a marriage that will secure an alliance between the Kingdom of Ashes and the Kingdom of Karaz. Why do these two kingdoms want to be together? Because there is a threat coming from the Ohaldor theocracy, a nation to the northwest. Yes. So all that said, with all that, we are now going to do a little retconning for how we finished last week. So last week we finished in the South Docks in Felvavik, which would be the area down by the water. I guess it's let me glass up here. Looks like area 11 there down. No, it's area 7. But we are not going to be in the Southern Docks, area 7. We are instead going to be in area 11. So that's where we will have ended last week's episode. Same finish, just moving it upstream a bit. Why are we moving it upstream? Because that is where our sawmill is. And we were dropping off a load of wood. And so same things happen. They pull up next to this kind of mill in So the river has a cut here, a channel that goes to over to where it turns the water wheel of the sawmill. And there's also a place upstream a little bit from that where the barge can dock and the wood begins to be offloaded. And in this dock area, Auriane will say goodbye to her friend, Kolbrá will say goodbye to her friend, and they will begin. Kolbrá, Ursula, and Auriane will then catch a smaller boat downstream, which will then take them through Felvavik, and we will see the city of Felvavik as they enter it, with the northern bank on its high bluff, the southern bank on a kind of a lower slanting area, more hilly than bluffy, with the high bluff containing the castle district and the wealthier homes of the city, and the southern part of the city being still well off this close to the river in this area, but slightly less well off. And I think at this point, we will read from Auriane's journal from the night before, just to set the mood of where Auriane is as they take this boat into the city of Felvavik, and where they plan to meet with Kolbrá's brother. I do not think this princess can know how much her words wounded me. Perhaps she does not wish to put me in my place, perhaps she wished to put me in my place, but I do not think so. I think she is defending herself and her decisions. They are a strange people, these people of Ashes, and her ways are strange to me, but I find myself wanting her approval. I should not have said what I did. It is one thing to question the wisdom of a decision, but to question a woman's character, that is different. I went too far. I am off balance. The taste of scorpion was sweet, if nothing else went well. And it was not so awkward once we were sharing our kills and savoring our triumph. I've always found that surviving a fight together binds like nothing else. I do not want to trance. When my mind is still, I see Cedric fall over and over again, which is right. He was a great man. He deserves to be mourned. But now I suppose my mother has heard that her brother and daughter are dead. Perhaps the new chieftain has been chosen already. I can only hope that my people choose wisely. But they are not my people anymore. I am dead to them. And if I am dead to my homeland, who am I? Where do I belong? And these are the thoughts going through Auriane's head as we enter the city. Entering the city, the boat, Ursula instructs the person, the boater, whoever the person is in charge of the boat, the rower, the steerer, to guide the boat to the northern bank, where they will get out and begin climbing some steps to get up to the city proper, and climb up onto the bluff and head towards the castle district, where they will be meeting with Auriane's brother. So, what am I clicking on? This is always a good question. We don't know his name yet, so we'll have to find that out. Oh yeah, there it is, Ymir. Okay. Looking at World Anvil, if I will put in the show notes on YouTube where the where I've located the World Anvil for this show. There's not much content there right now, but there will be in the future. There will be more content as things happen. So they're on their way to travel to find her brother Ymir. Now, the party has a bit of a lead, but they have not escaped yet. And they have not yet been caught by the Master Assassin. But we do know that this situation is very close. So what we're going to do here is, since we are even on this, I think what we'll do is we'll roll. And we will simply ask the Oracle to decide. Flat roll, 11 or higher is a yes. 10 or lower is a no. We will simply do a flat roll. We will determine whether or not the word has gotten to Felvavik in time for some sort of ambush or plot to have been laid, for somebody to be looking out for Kolbrá to show up in Felvavik and to make this stop. So let's just see what happens. So we're looking for an 11 or higher for a yes. There are assassins waiting here in the city. That is a 4. There are not. Fortunate for Kolbrá, unfortunate for us as an audience watching this happen, but they have escaped from Master Assassin. So, and so they are able to make their way through the city to the castle to meet with her brother Ymir. And you know, the city itself is exciting. It is vibrant. There are incredible things happening. There you go. There are great things happening. There's, you know, street markets and jugglers and food stands and all of the things that you would see in a city. You know, as well as poverty and, you know, the occasional beggar, although not as much in this district as you might see in other districts, as it is frowned upon and sometimes the watch or the guards will get called to kick these people out. And so, and of course, Auriane, who is from a completely different culture and one that doesn't really have cities like this, she is in a state of what I can only describe as shock. She is staring at these tall stone buildings. There are cement walkways across the center of the street that are, you know, not so much that she's never seen these kinds of large structures, but it's the structures and the thousands and thousands of people. You know, her people don't gather in these kinds of groups, and so she's starting to feel, especially as a bodyguard, sort of a sensory overload that is pressing in as she attempts to keep an eye on everything. And she sees somebody moves quickly, and her eyes automatically snap in that direction as she tries to pick up each and every possible threat to Kolbrá that is coming, but there are too many threats to watch. She begins to try to take her cues from Ursula. Ursula is walking with much more confidence. She's been in this kind of situation before. She can judge much better who is dangerous and who is not dangerous. In this bustling city, I believe, if I look at the Daggerheart rules, which I will, we could say that this is an environment. What kind of environment is it? Let's see. Let's look at environments. Chapter 4. Let's get some environment stat blocks. We're in tier 1 environments now. We're in a bustling marketplace environment. And so let's see. Let's take an action. So as you know, someone will attempt to lift something from we're going to start with somebody who's going to attempt to steal something from Auriane as she is looking about, very touristy. So a thief is going to try to steal something. The PC will make an instinct roll. This is a difficulty 10 roll, and will be our first official roll of the day as far as the people go. As far as action, duality dice rolls go. So let's see. Auriane rolls instinct with a +0. So let's get this roll done. All right, that is a 16 with fear. So on a 16 with fear, what does that mean as she tries to stop this pickpocket? I think it means that I pick up a fear because I've only got one. That's what it means. It means I take a fear. She sees somebody try to steal something out of her. The thief comes by and tries to grab her money, and she strikes down with one arm and smacks the thief in the wrist and kind of gives him reaches out to grab him, but the thief skitters off, and she's left turning around and, "Hello, Squire." She turns around and kind of glares at Ursula and Kolbrá and kind of disapprovingly thinking about this kind of situation. But that would be the thing that happens in our marketplace. But beyond that interaction, nothing else really happens until we reach the castle. And I think we're going to have I think we're going to montage this just a little bit because there's not a lot going on here in terms of plot advancement. What's going to happen here is that they're going to meet the steward. They're going to be met at the castle gates. People are going to recognize Kolbrá for who she is. They're going to be invited in. They're going to get rooms. There's going to be, welcomes, hugs. Her brother will ask, what happened to her. She will cast exposition and rehash what I've just told you, which is that they were attacked by assassins. Many of their people were killed. He's very disturbed by this. Introduces Auriane as someone who has kind of come on board and been very helpful. He tries to talk to her. She's a bit standoffish with this stranger and uncertain of her place in these in this fancy castle with its, grand rooms and tapestries on the walls and other things. And so all of that will go along, and they will eventually be, as it is kind of latish in the day, they will be preparing for dinner. So we will put our heroines essentially in a tower for a moment as we ask a couple of questions. And so the thing I really want to know is, who is the master assassin? I think that we would all like to know who has been trying to kill Kolbrá. And so the first question I will ask is, and I think this is a worthwhile question to ask, and I think we're going to keep our chaos level pretty basic here. So we'll go with, we'll go straight in the middle with a 5. We'll say this is about a 50-50 shot. So no modifiers on this. 11 or higher, we get a yes. 11 or less, we get a no. Is the... fair enough. Don't watch twitchy video. It'll make you sad. Is the Master Assassin not is the Master Assassin, does the Master Assassin have a connection in the court of Ymir Einarsson, the Duke of Felvavik, Kolbrá's older brother? 10. No. They do not have a connection within that court. So she is safe. The dice have not been very cooperative for creating plots for me today. So Kolbrá is safe. So let's have I think we can bypass a little bit of the RP here on Auriane being instructed as to, where to stand at dinner, how to be in position, and those sorts of things. And I think that since we know that she is safe, we're going to assume that they make a decision that, so Kolbrá has arrived in Felvavik. She's supposed to catch a ship out of here and head towards Kiraz. And so the question is, does Kolbrá want Auriane to travel with her to Kiraz? Does she want to keep her with her? And I think that the answer to this is a definite yes. I think this is very likely that she would want this. So I think we will have a little bit of RP here. I was thinking we might want to have perhaps some combat, and I think we will have some combat in a little bit. But we're going to take a moment here to have, after dinner, Kolbrá is in her chambers. She is sitting at a desk in this castle room with its kind of stone walls, but with tapestries hanging on the walls to keep them warm. We're in middle spring, so it's not terribly cold here in the Kingdom of Ashes. Um, um, so she has her shutters open on her window that is looking out into the courtyard of the castle. There is a knock on the door from an adjoining room, and so she will respond, say, and it is Auriane. So she says, "Enter." And Auriane comes in and kind of stands there, looking a bit awkward. So I am understanding that you are tomorrow. You will be taking a ship, yes? Yes, we are going to Paraz tomorrow. I see. It has been an honor to travel with you so far. But I'm afraid that perhaps after our conversation last night, and I do not want to presume, but you're asking if I want you to come with me. I was wondering if you still had continued need of my services, what with all of the other guards and things that you can have from your brother's castle. Are you wanting out? No. I will tell you, I respect you, Auriane. You came at a time when we desperately needed another sword, and you have provided that. You have been a great traveling companion. You have done excellent work. I think you've saved Ursula's life twice. Perhaps 3 times. But I don't really know you. And I think that before I decide whether I would want you to come with me, I would like to know you better than I do now. You have questions? Yes, I have questions. The question I think I mostly have is, why? Why are you here in Ashes? I mean, not to put too fine a point on it, but I don't think I've ever seen maybe a handful of Kveden have come this far north. Your people tend to like your land and stay where you're at. Well, you don't stay where you're at, obviously. You move around a lot, but that's not the point that I'm trying to make, is that I don't understand what you're doing here. I see. And we're going to have a roll here. That seems like the right thing to do. Seem like the right thing to do? Here's the roll we're going to have from Kolbrá. She's going to make a presence roll. And this is just to see I just want to gauge, like, the DC on this is a sliding scale. It's just where she rolls depends on what she gets at this exact moment in time. Okay, so that is a 15, and that is a 15 with hope. So she will take a hope. And with that hope, she will get a little bit more information on a 15 with hope than she would have on, say, a 5 with fear. So what she's doing here is kind of bonding as a leader. She's using her skills, or court skills, to kind of draw something out of Auriane. I suppose I might as well tell you, because you deserve to know where I am. You deserve to know what kind of person you are hiring or having in your household. I am, as you know, I'm a guardian, a bodyguard. That is my job. I was part of the inner circle of my uncle Cedric, and we had been traveling quite some time. We are always traveling, of course, but in this case, we had. So the cafe. I do not know if you know this, but we maintain houses in the southernmost towns of the Kingdom of Ashes for trading purposes. We have what is like a consul, an ambassador, which was my Uncle Frederick. We had gone to north to visit him out of Cavay, and then had headed back. And on our way to return, we were ambushed, and in this ambush, we were almost all killed. Cedric went down. I was taken down. We were outnumbered. There were many of them. I fought my hardest, but it was to no avail. In the end, we were all cut down. I awoke with everyone dead around me and bleeding, badly damaged, as you see the scars I have. But I had a little strength left. I had enough strength to pack my wounds with moss, to make my way back to Jahamer, where the consulate was, to my other uncle, to my Uncle Frederick. And he took me in, he patched me up a bit, and after a couple of days, he asked me what happened and where his brother was. And I told him there were many of them. They came, they attacked us, they killed all of us, except for me. I am the only survivor. And he said to me that so you see, I am a failure. I have failed in my duty before. And so this is the person that you would be, because I am exiled, you see. I cannot go home. I am not to return. So my uncle says I am not to return to Cavey, and so I am here now. And perhaps you should not trust me. Perhaps I am no worthy guardian, but I believe I have always done as best as was possible for me to do. And I think that I have fought well, and that you have seen me do good things. And so I would offer you my axe to your service if I am a person you would have. And there's a long silence here as Kolbrá sits and looks. So, if I am to understand this, you were ambushed, much as we were ambushed when you found us on the road. Yes. And these assassins who ambushed you and your uncle, who was your uncle? Why would someone want to attack him? He was the chieftain of our clan. It would not be usual for him to be assassinated. No one could take advantage of such a thing, such a shameful thing, if it were to come out that they were the person behind it. Yes, I mean, sometimes there are challenges and different ways to try to take the chieftainship, but mere brute force or murder are not our way. I see. But someone could have wanted him out of the way for political purposes, I suppose. I am not a politician. I am not a chieftain or a council member. I am an axe and a brain. I see. So, your uncle, hearing about this, blamed you for surviving this attack? Yes. And do you blame me, Auriane? Or Ursula? For being the sole survivors of the attack that you first stopped us at? Or that you stopped when you first met us? Of course not. That would be ridiculous. And Ursula has kept you alive. And so she has not failed you. Here you are, alive and well. Yes. But, if you had found her cut down and me cut down, and she had somehow survived, would you have blamed her then? Perhaps. Perhaps not. It seems hard, but that is her job. Her job is to keep you alive, and if you cannot keep someone alive, then what? What are you? What do you do? I see. Thank you. I will accept your axe. Ariane Chopin of the Cavadet. Thank you. May you live to regret it, as they say. That's a dark thing for a bodyguard to say. And then that is what that's. And so it is decided Ariane Chopin of the Cavadet will accompany Kolbrá and Auriane's daughter, Ursula Franz's daughter, as they travel to the kingdom of Karaz. So we will open on a boat in our next scene. And they will be traveling by boat, by ship. We will montage this a bit. And I think that I'm actually going to end here today. We're just going to do that one scene. This is kind of a bridge episode. I only have 20 minutes left, so I don't really have time to jump into a whole new plot line. So we will open on a dock in Karaz. We'll have some journal entries from the boat trip when we start next week. So that'll do that. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. Well, hello, RN12 Hour. We will close there. You're throwing me. As always, let me let you guys know that if you want a Rolling Solo t-shirt, you can always get one at etsy.com/shop/solidselfdesign. I have other shirts there as well. Next week, we will open in the Kingdom of Karaz, and hopefully good things will happen. And in the meantime, just keep rolling.